Good afternoon. I'm Lou Antoine with Job Service Kalispell. Thank you for joining us for the November Blueprint for Business Success Seminar, the last one of 2021. Attendees are muted, but we encourage you to use the chat box for asking your questions, which will be answered at the end of the presentation as our time allows. As usual, we ask that your questions and comments are polite and respectful to our attendees and the presenter. There is a 2-minute anonymous survey that we would appreciate you completing. It will pop up when you click on Leave at the end of our seminar today. Your feedback helps us improve the program and offer future topics and content that is useful to Montana businesses. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from Jessica Nelson as she shares information on the topic, Video Marketing for Small Business, using videos to engage customers and facilitate growth, simple steps for beginners. Jessica has a bachelor's degree in communication and 10 years of experience in media communications. Her background includes radio and television broadcasting in both news and marketing. As a news reporter and anchor, Jessica shot all her video and edited each story. She was also previously an on-air host for the business marketing segment, Simply Siouxland. Jessica conducted short on-air interviews highlighting small businesses. She's now the public information officer for the Department of Labor and Industry, where she has shared her camera skills to better promote and engage several divisions within DLI, including job service and apprenticeship. Let's all please welcome Jessica Nelson.
Oh, thanks so much, Lou. I'm so excited to be here today talking about making videos. As Lou mentioned, I have been doing it for a long time. And I think that it's a lot easier than a lot of people think it might be. And so hopefully you get a lot out of this presentation. Hopefully you leave it feeling like, hey, I can do this. So we are going to start with 3 key takeaways that I hope everyone leaves with today. And the first one is anyone can make a video. I don't know if you've noticed, but I bolded anyone because I truly believe that anyone can make a video. And I understand that it's intimidating at first, but I do think that anyone can make a video. 95% of a message that your customers see in a video, it remains with them. And that's opposed to print or an image. We're just talking video today. And 95% of that message remains with customers. The last thing that I want to leave you with today is to be authentic. You connect with your consumers when you're yourself and they can relate to you. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. So everyone is online. And I love this picture because it literally shows everyone online, from the little boy to what looks like his parents and his grandparents. Everyone has a cell phone. I know we're not meeting in person today, but if we were in a room, I would ask all of you who has a cell phone. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, would raise your hand. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone is online. My 91-year-old grandmother has an iPhone. She always has whatever version is the latest, and she knows how to take pictures and videos. And if she can do it, anybody can do it. So why do we want to use video as an advertising tool? Well, for starters, video appeals to mobile users. As we were just discussing, pretty much everyone has a cell phone, down to young children, down to grandparents and on. So 90% of consumers watch videos on their cell phone. Let that sink in for a minute. 90% of consumers watch videos on their cell phone. Videos are very easily digestible, and we live in a world of instant gratification. I don't know about any of you, but when I first discovered grocery pickup, I can't tell you the last time I went into a grocery store, because grocery pickup for me is instant gratification. I do everything on my cell phone, and all I do is pull up into the parking lot and they load my groceries and I leave. I don't have to go in there with my little kids running around and trying to figure out what I need. Instant gratification, and I will never go back. So videos are very similar, right? We can sit, we can enjoy, we can relax as our brains digest the information that we're watching. So videos are also entertaining and they're engaging. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to make your videos entertaining and engaging as well. Another thing to keep in mind when you are going to start making videos is that Google promotes videos. So you are 53% more likely to show up first on a Google search if you have a video embedded on your website. So that right there, I mean, 53% more likely to show up first. That's huge. You know, people don't know about your business. They want to Google, hey, I'm looking for this service. And you have a video on your website, you're 53% more likely to show up first on a Google search. Videos are easily shared through many different channels, and they provide great return on investment. Videos are very easily shared. If you do have social media accounts, which we'll get into a little bit later as well, you know how easy it is to hit the share button and share with friends, your timeline, messaging, Instagram, Twitter, no matter what it is, they're so easily shared that it's just a great option for you to make these videos that people can one click away and share with other folks, friends, family. Video builds customer trust and loyalty. Putting a face on your brand makes it more relatable to consumers. As Lou mentioned, I do have a background in TV. And something that I always found funny was that viewers would see me in the grocery store. They'd come up to me, oh, I saw you on TV. I saw you on TV. You know, I can't believe you wear sweatpants on a Saturday. You know, it was like I was just this image of somebody who they saw on TV, and they didn't really ever see me as a real person, you know? So we are people. And when you can make your videos relatable to your consumers and show them, hey, I'm a person too. I spilled my coffee this morning just like you did. We're all human. You know, it builds that trust and that loyalty. And I just think that's very, very important for you to be very real in your videos. And we'll also talk about that a little bit more. So since we are discussing videos today, I do have a few videos in my presentation. I'm hoping that they play well, but we all know there can be issues with technology. So this first video I'm going to play for you, and I do think it's very engaging. Take a look.
Online video. Should you have one or not? Well, clearly and concisely, yes. You definitely should. And it really doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, small business, or multinational corporate. And let me tell you why. In a nutshell, because people love them. Now, let me explain this. Basically, there are just two major steps in every business: attraction and conversion. You need to attract a visitor and convert them into a paying customer. That's it. And videos can significantly help with both steps. Let's start with attraction. Imagine that an online visitor comes across your site. There's plenty of text and images explaining what you do and how great your products or services are. But that's really not the way to grab the visitor's attention. After reading for 1 or 2 minutes, they will simply leave the site bored, and you've lost the potential customer forever. Now, let's assume that instead of the boring text, you've got a 1 or 2 minute video explaining all the important stuff in a short but memorable format that viewers can actually enjoy. Studies have shown that videos are processed by the brain 60,000 times faster than text. So you can really give your visitors a lot of information in just a short while, which is exactly the way to earn attraction. People are also 39% more likely to share your content if it's delivered via video. This means that visitors will spread your story through social media and attract more people to visit your site. In other words, this is how you increase traffic, which is then reflected by search engines through an improved SEO rank. See, you're getting more and more attractive. Now, once you've got the attraction, let me tell you how videos help with conversion. 70% of marketers report that video converts better than other content types. Why? Because your prospects can now really see what you do or sell. Getting more detailed information leads them to making confident purchase decisions. Also, video enables you to really stand out from the crowd and strengthen your brand trustworthiness. But let me repeat the most important message here. People love videos, and you're proof. You just watched one, right? So let us help you. We can suggest the best video strategy for you.
All right, so I love that video. It's short and sweet and gets right to the point of why videos, one, are so easily digestible by consumers and why they can drastically help your business. So let's get into how do I make a video. I don't know about you, but I watch that and I get pumped up and I get excited. Oh my gosh, what a great opportunity to expand and grow. And it's intimidating if you've never made a video. Okay, I see that. I see what video can do for my business, but how do I get there? You know, I don't want to spend a lot of money. What do I do? So let's start with, how do I make a video? What equipment do I need? And this is the best part of today's presentation, because you really don't need that much. You might already have everything that you need. And I promise you, I'm not going to leave you today by telling you to spend thousands of dollars. So the first thing you're going to need is a smartphone. iPhone, Android, Google, it doesn't matter what the brand is, as long as it has a camera, which most smartphones, I think all smartphones nowadays are made with cameras. You need a smartphone. The second thing is a tripod or a gimbal, which is a handheld tripod. And I have some pictures on the next slide that we'll go over. A tripod is good for steadiness. If you're kind of shaky, tripod's going to hold your video still so that you have clear, clean, not shaky video. The next one is a microphone, wired or wireless. And this is important to get good audio for your videos. And the next is editing software. And this, I think, probably might be the most intimidating for some folks listening today who have never ever made a video, or maybe you've made videos, but you've never had to edit them. We'll go over editing software as well. And the next one is optional, ring light or lighting. I actually have a ring light right now above my webcam. It's very dark in my office, and you can see just how well lit it lights everything up. And this ring light was $25 on Amazon. So we're going to go over some good deals, because I'm a girl who loves a good deal. So again, I was just mentioning these products. Here are some pictures to kind of explain those products that I was discussing. So top left on your screen is a tabletop tripod. And you can see it's all, I mean, there's all sorts of ways that you can do that. You can mold the legs. You don't have to get that kind of tripod. There's so many different tripods out there. For a reasonable price as well. I mean, you don't need to spend a lot of money on a tripod, but you are going to want one that, if you are using your cell phone, which is what I'm going over today, is shooting videos with your cell phone, that you can attach your cell phone to. The next is a microphone. And this particular microphone I actually use here at DLI to make videos, and it plugs directly into my iPhone. So it's fantastic. It's called the lavalier or a lav mic, and it clips onto the top of your shirt, or maybe you're interviewing someone, it clips onto the top of their shirt. Now, one thing I do want to mention, this one is wired. You can use wireless. I personally prefer wired. You just never have to worry about technical difficulties. So working in the news, a lot of times we used wireless, which is great. But you would get back to the station to put together your video and your audio, and there would be no audio. You know, there would be different channels that didn't connect, and different cords or different antennas on the box of the lavalier that just didn't work. And when I can plug it directly into my phone, I know it's going to work. So I just have a lot more confidence in microphones that plug directly into your device. The other thing that is important to mention is you want to look well, whether it's you yourself who are going to be talking about your business, or if it is you're interviewing someone, maybe you're interviewing a customer. You want to hide the cord. And I was just at an event yesterday with the governor promoting Apprenticeship Week here in Helena, and the TV station came to the event and they stuck the mic right on the front of the guy's t-shirt, and the cord's just hanging there and dangling there. When you're going to be on camera and you're going to be making videos, you want these videos to look good and professional, and having a cord hanging from the top of your shirt does not look very professional. So what you can do is you can take that tip of the mic and you can tuck it up and under the inside of your shirt, and then it just clips right here on the outside. And you want the microphone to clip on the outside. If it's on the inside, you're going to get the shirt or your jacket or your hair or something rubbing, and your audio is going to come through all muffled. So just a little tip when it comes to microphones. The next two items we have here are a gimbal and a ring light. And I was just discussing the ring light. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is a light in the shape of a circle. And believe it or not, these little things can pack a powerful punch. Like I said, I have one on here that I'm using. You can kind of see, I also have another big light, but you can kind of see the difference when I turn the ring light on and off. a great option that I can also attach, just like you see in the picture, my phone right there, so that you have good lighting with your video. Good lighting with videos is very, very important, as we'll discuss later on. And like I said, I love a good deal. All of these, you can get all of this for under $100. And I think that's not the phone. Not the phone. We all know phones don't cost under $100 these days. But if you have a phone and you need all the other equipment together, you can get all of this for under $100. And camera equipment can be very expensive, and it can be very intimidating when you need to buy camera equipment. But that's why I want you to know you can do this without spending thousands of dollars. And the other thing is this equipment is lightweight. Anyone can carry it. Again, working in the news, I had camera bags and equipment. I mean, you could fit probably 3 small children in one of those bags. They were huge and they were heavy and very difficult to lug around. Nowadays, camera equipment, it's incredible. These lights, I mean, it probably doesn't even weigh a pound with the tripod and the light. And then I have my phone with that little tiny mic. It's all absolutely reasonable to be able to carry for anyone. Like I said, I got a lot of little videos in my presentation just to kind of describe some things for you, paint a good picture. I'm going to play this one now, and hopefully it plays well for you. We'll get it started.
Here's the thing. If you want to get more views, you need to make better videos. So in this video, I talked with Rob Dial, viral video creator with over 1 billion video views. And he breaks down his 10 best tips for how you can make your videos better coming up. What's up, guys? Sean Cannell here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And I'm pumped to be sitting with Rob Dial, viral video creator with over 1 billion video views. So he definitely has some authority when it comes to leveling up our videos. Well, how's it going, Rob? You're doing great, man. How about you? I'm doing really well, and I'm pumped to jump into these tips. So let's just start with number 1, and that is lighting.
Lighting. Yeah, man, I think that the one thing we were talking about, you don't have to have a whole crazy lighting setup, but you have to think about where the lighting's coming from. I see a lot of people that try to create videos, but they're in a dark room. They decided to do it at night. They're not using the easiest thing to do is to literally just take your camera, set it up, have the light back here, and then just make sure that the window is coming through and hitting you in the face. If you just do that, then you will 10x all of the quality of any video that you make.
Yeah, lighting makes any camera look better. The best camera in the world with bad light will look worse than an iPhone with good light.
For sure.
So you gotta have that good lighting. Number 2 is a tripod.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that make videos and the whole time it's doing this, and I don't know about you, but it makes me feel like I want to throw up when there's just shaking the entire time. You can go onto Amazon right now. You can put something $5-10 and just put it up. Have your tripod right here, have your phone right here, have the window right there, and you're going to get higher quality footage than most people are making right now on the internet.
Get rid of that shaky footage. Get that tripod. Number 3 is planning.
Yeah, I think that the one thing, whether it is that you want to take it and completely script it out, which we'll talk about, or just put bullet points. The one thing that I find is if there's planning, then you will get a much more, your words will be shorter. You'll get things down to a point, and you won't be dragging on, because I find that people have such a short attention spans that if you're not planning it and you're not trying to get it as short as possible, you're going to lose people sometimes. You're going to say, and people are going to think in their heads, I don't know if this person's really qualified to be talking about what they're talking about.
Yeah, man, prior planning prevents poor performance. In fact, we planned out this video on the list right here so that we could actually go through it in an organized fashion.
Yep.
So planning is a powerful tool to level up your videos. Number 4 is having a teleprompter or possibly a script.
Yeah, so what we just talked about in the last one is having something down on a piece of paper. What we did was we literally just put a brain dump down, and then we said, how can we make this and take them through the journey? So these are the most important things, from like, these are the most important to these are the little bit more advanced ones. And if you have something that's super important, if you look at any newscast, you're not going to watch a newscast where they're not reading directly from the teleprompter. So for me, it's like $100-150. It's a teleprompter. It's literally this big. It latches onto my camera itself. It's called a paired teleprompter, and I'll put everything in there and then just push play, and I'll read it directly from it, because I want to make sure that, for me, there's sometimes I go off the cuff and I'm at least following the script, but there's sometimes where if I have editors, which we'll talk about editing as well, if I send them 3 different clips, 3 different takes, but it's the exact same words, which is why the script is really good, then they can take that and they can put it together much easier. It costs me less money because it doesn't take them 5 hours to edit. It takes them 2 hours to edit because it's the exact same words across 3 different takes.
Yeah, and you have a lot of viral videos, I mean, over 1 billion views. And so scripting your videos and using a teleprompter has been powerful for you.
For sure.
Here at Think Media, we mostly outline. And so I never go into a video if I'm not sure what the points are, what the organization is, even what the question of the day is. So whether you're scripting your videos completely or just doing an outline, you absolutely want to plan ahead when it comes to your content. And hey, think if you're getting value, can you smash the like button as we dive into number 5, which is focus on the content, not the camera.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, what they're really worried about is they say, oh, I'll start when I get better lighting. I'll start when I get a better camera. I just don't have $1,000 to invest. And I tell everybody, you know, we both started on a webcam.
Yep.
$150. That's cheaper than both of our iPhones right now. The quality's way worse.
Yeah.
So if you have a phone in your pocket, no matter what it is, the camera's better than what both of us started at, with 1 million subscribers on YouTube and over 1 million subscribers on Facebook. So if you have a phone, you have something that you can start with. Don't worry about the quality of the actual camera. It'll be good if you're using an iPhone. Worry about the content that you're delivering to the people who are watching your stuff.
Tip number 6 for making better videos is set and setting.
Yeah, there's so many people. Imagine if we would have left coffee mugs or anything out here, it would have been distracting. We don't want to distract you from the message that we're giving you. So there's so many people that sit in a place and they don't think about what's behind them. They don't think about the fact that they have their laundry behind them that they forgot about, because it's blind to them because they're going through their day. Think about what's around you, but then also think about what you're hearing. A lot of times you don't notice the air conditioning because you're so used to it in your house, but then you play it back and you realize there's that hum. And if you could just record, keep your AC on for the entire time, for that 10 minutes that you're recording, turn it off. You're not gonna, overheat in those 10 minutes. So what I would say is just make sure that you're aware of what's behind you, what people can see inside of the set, inside of the frame, but then also what they're hearing as well.
And tip number 7 is editing.
All right, we'll get into editing a little bit later on, but all of these tips are just absolutely fantastic for basics when you start to make videos. Things to be aware of that maybe you wouldn't be if you haven't made videos before. Things behind you is a huge one. And also the sound, if you're going to be outside, you have to be aware of those sounds. If you're trying to shoot a video, maybe in front of your business that happens to be next to a railroad and you have trains going by, these are all things that you absolutely need to be aware of when you are making your videos. And I have a few tips. A lot of these, again, are very similar to what you just saw in this video. Number 1, when you're first starting out, shoot your video as live. This is another TV term, but basically what it means is shoot it so you don't have to edit. And in order to do that, you should have some sort of script, and it doesn't have to be word for word. It could be an outline if you're comfortable doing it that way. But you should have gone through it multiple times before you press record. And once you press record, hopefully you're comfortable enough that you can just go through it one time. And that's as if it were live on television. That's kind of what that means, to where you don't have to spend a lot of time editing. I think both of those guys were talking about in the video. If you do this, you're going to cut your editing time in half by being more prepared before you press the record button on your video. So very good if you can shoot your video as live. The next one is short, concise videos will ensure that the consumer watches until the end. And the guys on the video also mentioned this, but you want to get to the point. If you're babbling on you yourself, your consumers, nobody's going to want to watch that. You're just going to click to the next video, move on. So if you can be short and concise with your videos, it makes the chances of your consumer watching till the very end, getting all of the message you're trying to share with them out. Be aware of your background. Again, the guys mentioned this in the video, and it's so, so important because, and all of you have seen live television, right? And when it's live, there's no control for the reporter, but you got people behind them, people making funny faces, and you see that all the time. Be aware of your background, because whatever comes up in the background is very distracting to the viewer of your video. And be authentic. Again, you connect with consumers when you are yourself and you can relate to them. Something I enjoy about those videos is these are great, well put together videos. No, I don't work for Think Media, but I found these videos and they have a ton of resources on there for people who are making videos. And what I liked about them is these guys stumble too, and it just shows they are people. They're authentic. That's That's just like we are, we're going to stumble sometimes too. And it's okay to do that. Sometimes in television, when we would record things, if you stumbled once or twice, and I'm not talking a huge stumble or a huge mispronunciation, but if you stumbled, sometimes you would leave it because it makes it more real, makes it sound like it's live. It makes it sound like this is not recorded, it is live, and she is human. She does make mistakes, a lot of them. So the next one I have is never shoot video towards a window. You always want to face the light. This can be hard if you're shooting outside. I don't know if you've ever been outside and tried to take family pictures and everybody doesn't want to look into the sun, so they turn away, right? And then your pictures are all dark and you're thinking, why does it look like that? Unfortunately, you want to face the light, which can be difficult for the person being interviewed, or if you yourself are making the video, it can be difficult. It's very bright, but that's going to give you the best lighting in your video is if you're facing towards the light. And the last one I have on here is find a quiet space with no loud distractions. I mentioned the train, if you're shooting outside. For me, myself, it's if I'm shooting something indoors. When COVID hit and I was working in the news, we had to work from home. And there were times where I had to shoot some of my stand-ups from home. And I have quite a few bloopers because I have 2 young kids and they would be in the background and I'd have to stop and hit record again and tell them to go in the other room for just a couple minutes while I recorded my video. Find a quiet space if you can without a 4 and 5-year-old being loud in the background. No loud distractions because they do take away from your video. And speaking of videos, I got another one here that I want to share with you guys. This one is on editing your film. Now, filming with your phone and editing on your phone, excuse me. So there's so many different ways. And again, I don't want you to be intimidated by this. There's so many different options and we're going to watch this video. And if you are watching this and you get overwhelmed, just know that if you shoot these videos as live, like I mentioned, the editing that you're going to have to do is maybe clip a little bit off the back and clip a little bit off the front, but you're not going to have to go in and cut and paste to extreme measures if you really prep before you make your video. So putting in that prep work beforehand is really going to ensure that you have a great video that's easy to edit and you're able to get it done and out and looking good. So I'm going to play this video for you now.
To get started with video, all you need is your smartphone. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down how to shoot a video for YouTube with this.
Now, we're using the iPhone 8, but if you have an Android or any other smartphone, you're going to get massive value from this video. So let's get into it.
Hey, what's up? Sean Cannell here.
Heather Torres here.
And this is Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video and social media. And we're so excited because we're in a 4-part series. This is part 1 of how to create YouTube videos with your smartphone. Part 1 is going to be all about shooting the video. Then we're going to do thumbnails in part 2, how to edit in part 3, and then finally how to upload it and optimize the video in part 4.
Now, when I first started on YouTube, all I had was a smartphone. I was not into gear. All of that was really intimidating to me. So I just want to encourage you that this video is really going to walk you step by step how to start creating content with the phone that you already have.
Tip number 1 is before you lock down your shot and set up any gear, put your phone in selfie mode and get a feel for the room.
Yeah, I took the phone, like Sean said, selfie mode, walked around because I wanted to see what the background was going to look like with me in the shot. Now, you might think that we do this really well at Think Media, but it takes us a couple times. So you'll see I set up the shot first and it didn't quite work out. So I wanted the tripod to be about an arm's length away and I wanted the background to not be too busy. So I moved around the room and then finally locked in the right shot.
Tip number 2 is get your gear ready. Now, here's the cool thing. You can start with your smartphone by just putting it on a pile of books using your on-camera microphone, but there's a few pieces of gear that we recommend to really level up your smartphone content. And that is a lighting kit. The lighting kit we have for this shoot was under $100. And then also a microphone. And if you got your dongle, then the microphone just plugs right into your phone, makes it sound better. And Heather was able to clip that to her shirt. And then finally, just a tripod and a smartphone mount. And you could get all of that gear for right around $150 here in the US. So if you want to see links to any of those specific items, we'll post those in the description below.
Tip number 3 is to lock down your shot. Now, there's always the dilemma. Do you do the selfie mode or do you do the normal camera? We suggest that you do the normal camera. And here's the best thing. I know I thought when I sat down, I can't see myself, but don't worry. Do a test shot first where you click the button, you sit down, you say something so you can test your audio, you can check the background, make sure everything's in frame, it looks nice. And then when you get started, everything's good to go.
Yeah, and the reason you want to do that is because the normal camera on most phones, like the majority, is so much superior to the selfie camera. But here's the thing, you can still use the selfie camera if you want, but avoid this mistake. A lot of people, when they're having selfie mode, they look at themselves and not the lens. Therefore, people can see it on the YouTube video. So do your best to look at that little lens on your phone, and that way you'll be making eye contact with the viewer.
Tip number 4 is to lock in your video settings before you start to shoot. Now, most cameras on your phone will do 1080p, which is great. And we recommend choosing that setting. But if you have the option for 4K, choose 4K. So in this video, we're doing 4K at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, and later in this series, we're going to be going through how to edit that. And what's cool is on an iPhone 8, which is the phone we're using for this series, you'll be able to edit 4K easy. But here's the other thing. You can always shoot in 4K, but then later down process it to 1080p, and it'll still look better on YouTube, helping you get more views and build your brand faster. Hey, I hope you're getting value out of this video. And if you are, can you smack?
All right. So again, I'm hoping that's not intimidating. We will have this PowerPoint presentation available for you. It's also being recorded if you want to go back and watch it. It's a lot with them, with their settings on their phones. I guarantee if you pick your phone up and you just hit record right away, you don't need to necessarily go into all of the different settings as far as how big it needs to be and the different. We'll get on the next one here. So there are many different types of videos that you can make once you are shooting your video. And these are just a few examples. And I think once you get going, you'll see, hey, I could do a video on this, and hey, I could do a video on that. The first one I have is just a business explainer. Explain what your business does, walk around and maybe have somebody else shoot it. You can also hold it and do the selfie mode. A lot of people honestly do that. And people just want to see inside. They want a sneak peek. So a business explainer is awesome. A company culture. I really like this one too, because there are so many different businesses and companies that have a specific culture. And it's fun. It's fun for the consumer to see that and kind of see behind the scenes. Product demonstration is another really good one. I don't know about you, but if you have ever bought something and you don't know how it's working or how to get it going, or maybe it's broken, but you don't understand, have you ever just YouTubed it? I YouTube stuff all the time. And there are videos out there for everything that you could possibly imagine. And a product demonstration is huge. If you sell a product or you have something and you're able to make a demonstration video, and then have it live on your website, have it live on your social media site so people can easily click and, oh, here we go. They're showing us how to do this, or it broke. They're showing us how to put it back together, or different ways that we can fix it. It's just very, very helpful for your consumer. A customer testimony, I mean, that speaks to itself right there. Customer testimony. If you have customers who are willing to do a little video, and it doesn't have to be long. It could be 15 seconds of them just talking about their experience with you and why they would recommend you and your company to somebody else. Employee spotlight is another one. Again, the goal is to make ourselves real to the consumers, and employee spotlights makes your employees relatable to your consumers. Behind the scenes, how to, and then also a promotional video. Again, these are just a couple different ideas to kind of get you started on making videos, but there's so many different options that you can explore. How do I edit my video? So once we get to this point, you've shot your video, you have great lighting, you don't have a train in the background. How do I edit my video? I do have a video on showing you how to edit your video. We're going to watch a little bit of it, and then I'm going to go into different options for you when it comes down to editing your video. So let's take a look at this. And again, this video is her explaining how to edit on her phone. There's many different ways that we can edit. You can upload your video onto a computer, a laptop or a desktop, and then edit it from there with a different editing software. Or there are ways to edit on your phone. This video in particular, she's going to be talking about ways to edit on your phone. And I'll go into this later on, but there's free editing software. There's also editing software where you do have to pay for it. But again, I'm gonna come back to the idea of shoot your video as live. Put in the work beforehand so that you don't have to spend a lot of time editing. If you prep and you do the work beforehand, before you hit that record button, I promise you, you won't have a lot of editing to do. And again, you want it to be real. You want it to be realistic. It's okay if you stumble here and there. You're human and you want your consumers to see that. Let's watch a little bit of this video.
So you've recorded a video with your phone and now you need to edit it for YouTube. Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through my easy step-by-step process for editing your video with just your iPhone. Ready to get started on YouTube, but not sure what gear you need? Get your copy of the free Ultimate Video Gear Guide, where we share the best cameras, lighting, and audio setup for every YouTube budget. Visit thinkgearguide.com to get started today. Hey, I'm Heather Torres with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video and social media. And on this channel, we do tech reviews, strategy videos, and tutorials just like this. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, this video is a video in a 4-part video series where we're helping you learn how to shoot, edit, and upload your videos directly from your iPhone. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it in the YouTube card and down in the description box below. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through editing on your phone. So let's jump into the video. Okay, so I'm on my phone screen and we're going to use the app InShot. I like the app InShot because there's a paid version, but there's also a free version. And that's the one we're going to use for this tutorial. Now, you're going to want to upload your video file. You click video, then you click new. When you click new, it's going to bring up your album. You're going to import or upload the video file that you've created with your phone. I've already done that here, so I'm going to click on that video. Now we are going to head into the editing process. I like this because there are 3 different options you can use for editing your video. First, you can trim off the front and back of the video. You can also cut sections out from the middle of the video, or you can use this tool called the split tool. I like this tool because it has this option for multi-split, and that allows you to go through when you know the time code for your video of where you need to cut out your mistakes. That allows you to go through and make all of your edits in one shot. Now, if you click the button right here, it says if you want to revert back if you made a mistake, it's actually going to remove all of the splits from that edit. So I like to do a few at a time, go through, watch the video, and then go back through and make more multi-splits. When you're done, click the check box. And now when you hit the video file, you can see that you have multiple files that you can go through. And if you need to take one out, you press delete, and now you have the full file. What I also love about this feature is that at the end, when you get to the end, if you want to click on it again and just go back into trim, you can then cut off the end of one of those sections that you've edited. The next step in the editing process is to add on our text. So you click the text button, and I like to add text to be able to add social proof. So if I want to put in.
All right, so she's going to go into different things like adding text and music and things like that. I don't suggest that when you're first starting out. I also don't think it's necessary. It just kind of convolutes your video. Now, as you get more comfortable making more and more videos, absolutely feel like you can add a little music in the background, add text, add hashtags, whatever you feel like. But when you're first starting out, I don't think those things are necessary. So now we're going to get into our editing software. So there's many different types of editing software. What I suggest for you is find one that you're comfortable using and then perfect your skills on that one particular type of editing software. There's going to be, if you just Google editing software, free or paid, there's going to be so many different options. And I suggest finding one that you think, you can do at your skill level and really diving into it. I don't want you to feel the need to purchase editing software. There are free software programs that work well. They're often less complicated. Now, it is important to note that if you do use a free editing software, you may have a watermark on your video. So kind of something to keep in mind, that if you do use a free editing software, there is going to most likely be a logo that says such and such editing software. And so I've kind of laid out just a couple options here. We have free editing software, Apple iMovie if you have a Mac, Hit Film Express, Lightworks, OpenShot. Editing software for purchase, where you do have to purchase Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, Nero Video, or Corel Video Studio. I would like to mention that when you first get started, if this is just absolute basics for you and you've never done any of this, go with a free editing software. Test it out, get comfortable. Once you've made several videos and you feel like this is something that maybe you want to take off for your business, then maybe later on down the road, invest in one of those where you do have to pay for them. I will say that Adobe Premiere is, and Final Cut Pro, those are some in-depth software. I mean, movies are made using those. At the television stations that I worked at, both of those are softwares that we used. You can do anything. I mean, you could make the video fly with those softwares. It's just unbelievable the things you can do. And for somebody who's starting out, that might be a little bit confusing and overwhelming. So I suggest sticking with a free editing software and shooting your videos as live. I do truly believe that is the best way to start out. So once you've got your video, you've made your video, you've edited your video, what do I do with it now? Where do I post my video? The first spot you would like to post your video is your own business website. Again, Google is 53% more likely to post your website first if you have a video embedded. So first place is your own business website. And then I break down some of these social media sites. You have Facebook, where you can post the video. Facebook has 2.89 billion active users. Now, does that mean when you post your video on Facebook that 2.89 billion people see it? No. But what it does mean is that your viewers see it and they share it. And then that number can grow, maybe to 2.8 billion. Twitter has 206 million active users. Instagram is up to 1.38 billion. LinkedIn has 774. YouTube is at 2.29 billion. And TikTok has 1 billion active users. So that's just a suggestion right there as some different options as to where to post those videos. If you have a business and maybe you only have a Facebook account, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not telling you to go out and make an account on every single one of these social media sites. But if you do have multiple accounts for your business, maybe you have an Instagram and a LinkedIn account and a Facebook account, post it everywhere that you do already have an account. The next thing I want to go over is who is consuming my videos. And we talked about this a little bit early on, but internet users spend 88% more time on websites that have video. And again, this comes back to easily being able to digest videos. Consumers want to watch videos. They don't have to think. They can just sit there and watch it. It's relaxing, and we want that instant gratification. The next one is 69% of American adults use some form of social media. And that could be one of any of those options that I had on the last slide, 69%. So that's a pretty large percentage of people that most likely will see your videos and consumers of yours, and also most likely to share those videos if you do get them posted on your site. So with that, that's really all I have. I do want to open this up to questions. I hope I didn't overwhelm you, but I hope that hopefully I've inspired you to kind of get out and get started making some videos.
Thank you so much, Jessica. That's a great presentation. And we'll go ahead and open the discussion up to questions. We do have some.
Okay.
First one is, where do I buy my camera equipment?
Yes. Great question. I bought all my stuff off Amazon, to be honest. And like I said, I spent less than $100. I think my total was about $58. I got a tripod, a ring light, and a microphone, a lav microphone that plugs right into my cell phone. I'm sure there's other options. I have been into Ross and TJ Maxx and seen ring lights and tripods. Those will all work. So don't feel the need to go out and spend a ton of money on equipment. I'm telling you, the stuff that is affordable works just as well.
Okay, Jessica, we have a question that just popped in.
Yeah.
What is the best balance between embedding videos on your website and maintaining a quick page load time, from Josh?
Okay, let's see, the best balance. Read it again for me, Lou.
What is the best balance between embedding videos on your website
Yeah.
and maintaining a quick page load time?
So I think this, if I'm understanding your question correctly, Josh, I think this goes back to short, concise videos. If you're talking about a consumer getting on your website and it just taking up way too much space, short, concise videos. A perfect example, I've been working with Job Service in Kalispell to make videos. And I kind of surprised a couple of them when I said 45 seconds or less. It was like, what? Why would we make it that short? Because the shorter it is, the more your consumer is going to watch till the very end. And so if you have short videos embedded on your website, short and to the point, maybe 15 seconds is a little too short, but 15 seconds is not too short for a customer testimony. In the news, we use sound bites, and typically we take about 15 seconds of what somebody says. So if you can get your message across in 15 seconds, that's a great short video that is easily played, doesn't take up a ton of space. The consumer isn't going to sit there waiting for it to load. I would say the shorter, the better. 15-second customer testimonial up to a 45-second behind the scenes. That's kind of the range you want to live in.
All right. Well, a quick follow-up from Josh. He asked, how many videos can you have without bogging down the site? So
yes, that's a very good question. And I am not sure. I'm not really an IT person as far as your website and who runs your website. Whoever runs your website, whatever your website is made from, I would definitely reach out to them, because that's a good point. If your website isn't made to handle a ton of videos, that's something you would absolutely want to look into. Hopefully it can handle quite a few though.
All right. Our next question is there a social media platform that Montanans use more than others?
That is a very good question. And I don't have the answer to that. That is not something that I found in my research as far as breaking down social media by state. I know that working for a news station here in Montana, called MTN News, that's where I was previously working, and they have stations all across Montana. We were very, very big into Facebook and Twitter, not so much Instagram. So I don't know if that applies to all of Montana, but Facebook and Twitter were the two sites that we really, really pushed our material. And then Instagram kind of picked up the slack. There wasn't as much traction on Instagram.
All right, another question, and you may have somewhat addressed that earlier, but which social media platform should I post my videos on first? I know you mentioned all of them, but which one do you go to first?
Absolutely. Well, I would suggest posting it first to your website, and second to whatever social media site you already have an account on. And if you don't, that's okay too. Make accounts. And I would start probably with Facebook and Twitter and post your videos there. I do think that having a YouTube or a TikTok, and I haven't done any research on this, but I would assume that TikTok has a much younger crowd of users as opposed to Facebook and Twitter. If you already have a social media account, that's where I'd start posting your videos. If you get good traction, lots of sharing, lots of likes, and you feel comfortable enough to then open another social media account, I would absolutely go for it. But I would start with kind of what you already have, because you've already built, hopefully, a customer base on there with likes already and shares and pictures and other things that you've posted already on those social media sites.
How many videos do you recommend a business posting a week?
So if you've never made a video, I would start with one. I would start with one. And I would find a day when you feel like you get a lot of traction. If you can go back, I know that Facebook, it keeps track of your likes, the days that it was liked. You can go into kind of the analytics of all of that. I'd find a day that you get the most visits to your page. That would be the day that I would post the video, and I'd start with one. And if you feel like it's going well and your consumers are enjoying the videos and you feel comfortable enough to make two, I mean, I'd just go up from there. I do think there's a fine line depending on what your business is of too much and not enough. And I think you would have to find that balance depending on what it is. You know, if you have a store and we're getting around the holidays right now, I mean, really anybody, it's holiday time. So I personally am on my phone a lot looking for deals and sales. And if you can pop out a couple videos a week, even if you just walking around, hey, we got this going on, it's a big sale, Christmas is coming up, we got to get your shopping in, that kind of stuff is going to build that traction. But there is a fine line between too much, but I don't think that's happening right now during the holidays.
Well, we've got a question in from Heidi Sue. She said she noticed the videos run clunky while she's using CenturyLink connectivity. Do you have any suggestions on how to have seamlessly smooth videos?
Yeah, so and we kind of ran into the same situation here for the presentation because my very first video was about 2 minutes long. It was short, it was sweet, it was concise. My other videos, I wanted to take larger chunks out of those videos to kind of explain things to people. And when we were kind of running through the presentation, we also ran into that. And I unplugged directly into the internet. So again, I go back to make shorter videos. The shorter the videos are, the easier they're going to play. And I think that's a big part of if you are on social media and you're scrolling through Instagram or you see videos on Twitter, a lot of them, honestly, a lot of them are 15, 20, 30 seconds long, and they're not much longer. And I think that allows them to play well because they aren't big and they won't bog down your site.
All right, we have a question from John. What or how do you recommend to make a intro static graphic page like an introduction splash page?
Yeah, absolutely. So I go back to me working with job service recently. I spent some time dragging our logo and kind of getting that onto a intro page. And I definitely think those are needed. I think it would be great for your business to have a logo. And I did that in Adobe Premiere. And again, Premiere is pretty complex, but there are videos all over YouTube. And if you found an editing software that you liked and you entered, you know, such and such software, making an intro page, that's definitely an option. The other thing that you can think of is just in front of your business and then adding text. You know, if you have a good picture and then adding text for whatever it is that you're shooting, customer testimonial in front of your business. But I would say that those are extremely helpful, especially if you're going to be doing a series of videos, to have some sort of intro and some sort of outro with contact information on them. So I hope that's helpful. Hopefully you're able to find information on the internet. I don't want to push you to Adobe Premiere if you're first starting out because it is so complex. However, I think anybody could figure it out, and there's tons of helpful tip videos on the internet.
Okay. John followed up, and I want your thoughts on this. You can also optimize videos for the platform you're using. An example like for YouTube. Can you do that for all of the social media?
I don't know. I know that you can pay as far as, oh, we want this at the top. I know that you can do that on Facebook. I believe you can do that on Instagram as well. You can pay a little bit more to kind of have those sponsored spots is what I think they're called on Facebook.
Oh, I think John was asking about optimizing the videos per each platform. So like, can you do something to shoot a video or edit it a certain way so that it plays well on YouTube?
Yes, you can. And there's different formats, which she kind of touched on one of the videos that we watched. As far as when I edit my videos and I'm going to put them on YouTube, there's different settings. And one of them is YouTube 1080 full. And that's going to be the best type of video for YouTube. So I think you could find out what they are specifically for each social media platform just by Googling, but you can also email me too, and I can look that up for you I don't know them off the top of my head, but you are correct. There are different formats, especially Instagram, because Instagram, I believe, is a square, which is much different from Facebook and YouTube and Twitter.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. If we have any other questions for Jessica, please pop them in real quick. Otherwise, Jessica, any other recommendations you have for people who are novices? I mean, you worked in television, as did I, and you can work with high-powered editing software. What else do you think people should do who are kind of scared about jumping in?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just stick to the basics. Don't spend a lot of money on equipment. You can shoot great videos by not spending a ton of money, and don't give up after your first try. I definitely think hopefully this has inspired you to kind of get out and give it a shot. But once you see what videos can do, and that's what your consumers want to see, have fun with it, really. Give it a shot. If it's too intimidating, maybe take a step back and try at it again. But I think prepping for your videos is going to be the best, especially when it comes down to editing. You know, have some notes jotted down, have a script if you want to, but also be authentic, be yourself, because that's what your consumers want to see. They want to see that you are a person too, and they want to be able to relate to you.
All right. Well, we have a couple of people who've asked for your information, which we'll get to at the end of the presentation. But we want to thank you, Jessica. It's a very highly informative presentation with some great questions from our people who popped in today. But that's all the time we do have for today. A huge thank you to Jessica Nelson for gifting her time today and sharing her expertise in video marketing. Following a few announcements, we will leave contact information up in case you would like to request a copy of her slide presentation or reach out to her in the future. Thank you, Jessica. There will be no Blueprint seminar in December, so everyone please enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you in 2022. You can believe we're almost there. Thank you in advance for completing the survey when you leave today. Remember, your feedback helps us improve the program and provide meaningful topics and content. Once again, thank you for attending Blueprint for Business Success.